Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Anita. I got your message. No problem. I'll contact you afterwards if we need to. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and grab our stuff straps, blocks, balls, weights, anything you want to bring in today. If you have any requests, feel free to put it in the chat. We are, can you believe it, rounding our way through the end of January. So we'll continue that last little bit of work here on our gallbladder meridian. And next month, we'll be focusing on the companion of the gallbladder meridian, the liver. And so bringing in a little more information as we continue to grow our yoga knowledge. All right. So let's go ahead, start out in a seated position. Find those sits bones if you need to move those glutes out of the way. Make sure that you're on a non-slip surface, something where you're not going to be slipping and sliding around, bringing a yoga mat or carpet or something like that underneath your chair. Ground down through the feet. Allow your palms to come onto the lap. Relax through the shoulders. We'll just start to find a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, just noticing how the breath is moving through your body. Relaxing the facial muscles, softening the jaw, finding a little space in between the teeth, and just rest your tongue gently behind them. Start to slowly deepen your breath, finding a little more fullness with that inhale and a little bit more of a full release as you exhale. We have a full moon coming up on Thursday. And so grounding down any of that energy that might be making us a little off balance, a little ungrounded, a little uncentered. Just feeling all 10 toes, the entire sole of the foot connecting with the earth beneath you. And as we continue to breathe, let's go ahead and bring a focus of gratitude into the beginning of our practice this morning. Thinking of those things that we're grateful for in our lives. And as they come to mind, just breathing that energy into all of the cells of the body. When we slow down to appreciate what we have becomes enough. Another breath or two here in gratitude. Hands softly come to heart as we bring the palms together here. Let's go ahead and bring that focal point in between the palms. Start to rub the hands together here. Find an inhale of your choice. We'll separate the hands and very gently stack them upon the heart. Take a moment to ask yourself what it is that you want to focus on during your practice today. Where it is that you want to invest your energy in your life. Remembering wherever that focal point goes, we manifest more of that. So if we're working our way through a hard problem and we continue to play it over and over in the mind, we'll perpetuate that problem. So begin to envision that desired outcome. Maybe even stating it as an I am statement, as if you've already achieved it. When we claim that focus of energy, we start to harness our own power and start to create the life that we want. 2 more breaths here. And gently release, palms come back together in front of the heart. Take a moment here. We'll go ahead and bring those palms back, rubbing them together, create that focal point, bring that energy here. Think of something that you want to send out into the world, an energy, a prayer, a mantra. And as we separate the hands, bring the pinkies and the thumbs together, creating a lotus mudra, letting the other fingers flare out. We can lift this mudra up above the head. We can keep it in front of the heart. And as we take a few breaths here, let that energy beacon out from the fingertips, sending that energy out into the world in the way of a prayer, a mantra, a word, a feeling. 2 more breaths, sharing that light. Hands softly come back together, down into the heart as we take a bow. Beginning our practice once again this morning. Release the hands, bring them back to the lap, and let's go ahead and begin. So open up those eyes. We'll go ahead and start to come up right into a little bit more active posture. Find those sits bones once again, hands come to our knees. So we'll start out this morning with just a soft, slow, gentle warming up. Start to find a cat-cow, moving at your own pace, moving at what is comfortable for you. Inhale as we lift up. Exhale, drop the chin, soft tuck of the tailbone, curling through the spine. Try not to collapse down into the shoulders. Maybe use the arms as part of your movement. And the breath stays through the nose throughout our practice. I'll keep reminding us. Take one more. And then slowly come back up. Coming into that nice straight spine. Let's take that right hand to the right knee. If you need to move forward just about an inch or so into the seat of your chair, find that availability to move the hip around, finding a few circles in each direction. Now, after we start to warm up that hip, we'll go ahead and bring that leg out in front of us, push through the heel, draw it back in. Stay nice and tall, lifting up that heart, relax the shoulders. One more push through the heel, bring it back in. Let's go ahead and take that left hand, left knee. We'll find a few circles here on the other side of the body. Opposite direction with those circles. Finding the size of circles that works for your hips. Last one. We'll go ahead and bring that left foot forward, kick into the heel, draw it back in. Find a little extension there of that knee joint. Last one, left foot comes on down. Find the hands to the knees. Once again, we'll go ahead and wiggle it out a little bit. Take a moment. We'll go ahead and find a nice stable base on the chair. Hands stay on the knees. Let's start to awaken that energy at the base of the spine. Start to find your little spirals. Make the circles as small or as big for your practice as you need. And then if you want, you can start to lift the energy up a little taller, coming into the heart, coming up into the shoulders. And if you want to offer that full Sufi grind, maybe the head gently rolls around. Sometimes that's a little too much for me. So if it is for you as well, just take your circles to where they can go. Sometimes this gets me a little dizzy, especially if I'm dealing with sinus issues. So feel free to omit this part. We'll go ahead and come back to center. And then slowly opposite direction, big circles down to small circles. When we take the head rolling around on a full Sufi grind, that's allowing our energy to go out in the way of a beacon, shining it out into the world, spreading it all around. There's usually a meaning behind each one of the movements in yoga. Bring it down into the chest, bring it into the belly, nice little massage of those internal organs, and then take it all the way back down towards the tailbone, towards the sacrum area. Last few circles, ground that energy back to the chair, and then come on back to center. Beautiful. Inhale, hands come to heart. Push it forward through the palms as you exhale. We'll lift up nice and tall. Inhale to the sky. Hands come down, exhale. Continue moving this energy throughout your body, starting to awaken as we come into our practice. We'll be bringing in a new pose today. So expanding our knowledge, expanding our body's knowledge. Take one more of these seated pranayamas. Hands come down, exhale. Beautiful job. So we'll go ahead, open up those eyes. If you close them, make sure that you find that nice stable base on your chair. And we'll go ahead and start with some sun salutations this morning. So wiggle it out a little bit. Let's take the hands to the shoulders, start to awaken the upper body. Take a few big circles forward with the elbows. And then a few big circles back. Hands come back down onto the knees. Let's go ahead and begin. Inhale, on up, eye gaze to thumbs. Bring it down to the knees as we exhale. Find a little spine lengthening. Inhale, exhale down. Take the hands wide, bring it all the way back up. Inhale. Let's take that first right leg on in. Little squeeze. Feel that nice opening behind the hip and the glute. Step it on down as you exhale. Inhale, hands back up. Swan dive it down to the knees. Exhale. Half lift, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands back up. Inhale. Take that second left knee on in as you exhale. Find that little opening and stretch on the back of the hamstring or back of the glute. Step it on down. Exhale. Inhale up. Swan dive it down. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, down. Finish off the sun salutation by bringing it all the way up. Hands finish alongside of the body as you exhale. Palms are forward. Take a few breaths here. Ground it out. Open those eyes. Inhale up. Eye gaze to thumbs. Bring it down to your toes this time if you'd like. Exhale. Half lift. Hands stretch back. Shoulders away from ears as you inhale. Exhale, back down. Take it wide all the way up. Inhale. Take that first side in. Right side. Draw the knee on up. Little squeeze. Keep the shoulders down from the ears. Step it down. Exhale. Inhale up. Swan dive down to your toes. Exhale. Lengthen that spine. Inhale. Fold. Exhale. Take the hands wide. Lift all the way up. Taking in that second side. Exhale into that left knee. Breathe. Step the foot down. Exhale. Inhale it on up. Swan dive it down. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Take it up. Inhale. Finish off this second sun salutation by letting the hands come down with the exhale alongside of the body. Palms are forward. 2 breaths, grounding it out. Eyes open. Inhale up. Swan dive it down. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Take the hands up. Inhale, bringing in that first side of the body. Exhale, right knee hugs on in. Relax the shoulders. Step it down on an exhale. Inhale, back up. Swan dive down to your toes. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Inhale it up. Hands come drawing in that second left knee, left leg. Flex your toes a little bit. Relax the shoulders. Find an exhale. Step it on down. Inhale up. Down to your toes. Exhale. Half lift. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Bring it all the way up. Inhale, finish that third sun salutation. As we exhale, hands come down alongside of the body. Relax the shoulders, broaden across the heart, palms forward. Beautiful. Hands come back to the knees, open the eyes. All right, let's go ahead. We're nice and warmed up. Let's find our block. If you have one, bring it on over to the right side of your chair. We'll do our side body openings coming into our warriors. Scoot over towards the left side of the chair away from the block. Left leg starts to stretch out to the side. Toes are towards me, so we're pushing into the outer edge. Try not to lock out your knee. We'll bring the hands up from the shoulders. Take the eye gaze over past the right fingertips. And gently hug those fingertips in, creating a nice flat edge. Lift up the lower ribs. Drop the left hand, lift the right. Reaching up through the right fingertips. Drawing that breath, drawing that energy down into the body. Maybe bring that left hand across the lower back. Find a little more shoulder opener there through the chest. Bring it back up, warrior two. Reach your right hand over just a little bit. Bring it either down to the seat of the chair or your block. Left hand reaches up and over. Here's where we find that nice side body stretch. Draw back through that left shoulder a little bit. Sink into that heel and stretch through the fingertips. Remember that gallbladder meridian is running down the side of the body, side of the leg. Stretching it out, finding that nice open channel for that energy to flow through. Bring it up, inhale. And we'll find one more set. Drop it back as we reverse. Left hand down, right hand up. Reaching up into the right fingertips, finding that lift up from the waist. Hands come back out from the shoulders. Take the eye gaze over to the right hand side. Reach and drop it down to the seat or your block once again. Left hand up and over. Let's find a few little circles here. Draw that energy through now that we've opened up that channel. Bring it on up when you're ready. Inhale, lift. Use that core strength. Beautiful. Hands come on and exhale. Hands come down to the seat so we can draw that left leg on in. We'll take that block on over to the other side if you have it. We'll scoot away from the block on over to the right. Take that right foot, extend it straight out from the hip, toes are forward. Remember, try not to lock out your knee. Pushing into the outer edge of the foot. Let's take the hands on up. Look over the left shoulder, left fingertips. Fingertips softly hug in, creating a nice flat palm. Let's go ahead and drop the right hand, lift the left. As we reach up through the left fingertips, drawing that energy, that prana down into the body. Maybe that right hand comes across the lower back. Find a little opening there across the chest and the shoulder. Bring it back up to center. Maybe a little reach through the left fingertips. Bring that hand down to the seat or your block. Find that stable base. Right hand reaches up and over. Draw that right shoulder back just a little bit. Push down into the heel. Stretch through the fingertips. And when you're ready, we'll bring it back up. Use that strength of the core. Inhale. Let's do one more set. Drop the right hand, left hand lifts. Maybe bringing that hand across the lower back if you'd like to try it out. One more full breath in through the fingertips into the body. Beautiful. Bring it back up. Hands come back out. We'll reach through the left fingertips, bring it on down to the seat. Right hand reaches up and over. Right shoulder draws back. Let's do 2 to 3 circles here. Draw that energy through that meridian line. Hand comes back up, stretching, lengthening that line of the leg. Bring it back up. Inhale. And hands come back in as we exhale. Let's draw that right leg on in. Come back to the seat of the chair. Take the hands back to your knees and let's find just a few cat-cows. Maybe able to open up a little bit more with this next set of this movement of cat-cows. But again, trying not to push too far into any of these poses. Bring it back. And from here, let's go ahead and bring in our straps. We'll work a little bit on the shoulders this morning too. Open them up. So whatever you have, it can be an old t-shirt, just something that you can hold on to. It can be a belt strap. You guys know my spiel, a towel, whatever you'd like. So we'll go ahead, ground those feet down, knees, everything aligning up with the hips, feet underneath those knees. We'll take the hands forward, gripping onto our strap, and then lift it on up. Once the hands come up over the shoulders, we'll start to draw the arms back. Try not to strain the neck, reaching through the chin or the nose. Just let the arms come back where they can. And bring them back up over the head. We'll find that side body stretch once again, over to the right or left, over to the other side. Feel free to take a few more little wiggles here through that side body, whatever movement is comfortable for you. If any, we'll bring it back up to center, bring the hands down, exhale. Find that wider grip. We'll bring the hands back up, inhale, creating a little Y shape with the arms. And from here, see if the arms can drift back a little bit. Excuse me. Again, try not to poke your head forward like a little turtle out of its shell. Just let the arms do the work. Hands come back up over the head. If they've come back behind it a little bit, we'll go ahead and do another little side stretch. Bring it back up to center. We'll take the hands back down to find the widest grip on our strap. Whatever you have in front of you using as a strap, we'll make sure that that grip is wide enough. But as we go over the head, let me make sure and clear. You might be able to do your rainbows. I know we've been offering the stretch here for a little bit. I hope you're seeing some progress within your body. Give yourself plenty of time. Some of these movements and poses can take years to progress and master in. And so also giving ourselves grace and time. So if the hands can't fully rainbow over, which is completely fine, we're going to do the same thing. Strap is over the head and you can do a little side body stretch. And bring it back up to center. We'll go ahead and bring the hands back down. Good. Nice opening of that upper body. We'll go ahead and set the strap down here for a little bit. Take a moment, hands come back to the knees, reset cat-cow. Or spiraling circles through the hips, you decide. We'll go ahead and come back up. Nice seated position, wiggle those knees. Let's go ahead, open them up wide and come have a seat a little more back in your chair. If you're using your weight today, we'll go ahead and bring that out. As always, if you don't want to use a weight, that's completely fine. We'll go ahead and let those heels come underneath the knees. If you need a little more of a narrow stance, that's completely fine. So we'll go ahead and take the ball in the right hand. We'll lift it on up. Elbows come down into a cactus pose. Exhale. Beautiful. So we'll find a little tuck of our tailbone. That way we find that little lift up in the spine. Inhale up past the block. Exhale, elbows come down to a goal post or cactus. Inhale up. Exhale down. Move with your own breath's pace. If it gets to be a little too challenging with the weight of the ball, set the ball down and just do the arms. Move with your breath. Make sure you inhale as you lift and exhale, elbows come down. Bring that half smile back upon the face. Ujjayi breath on the back of the throat. Let's see if we can do a few more on each side. Just when you start feeling the burn and you want to set the ball down, see if you can do 2 more safely. We never want to go to a point of pain. Remember that as well. I think I might be able to do 2 more. Definitely feeling it. Bring it back up. Bring the ball back down into the heart. Ooh, nice job. So go ahead and set that ball down on the ground. Take the right hand to left shoulder. Do a little squeeze here. Work through that deltoid, that muscle, that tricep on the outer side, all the way down, bicep as well. And swipe under the arm, all the way to the fingertips, top of the arm, underarm. There we go. Left hand comes to that left shoulder. Give yourself a little squeeze. Back of the tricep, inner bicep, swipe, top of the arm, bottom of the arm. All the way to the fingertips. Good job. Shoulder roll back. And settle back down. There we go. So let's take the hands to the knees. We'll find our twist in the waist. Push the right hand to the right knee. Lean that right shoulder forward and look to the left side of the room. Find a little space between that right shoulder and the ear. Just so we're not leaning into it and letting that ear collapse down into the right shoulder. Lift back up to center when you're ready. Bring it over to the other side. Left hand pushes the left knee. Left shoulder leans in as we look to the right. A few breaths here. Again, finding a little space between that shoulder and ear, just so we're not collapsing down into it. Inhale back up. One more on each side. You go ahead and do either fluid or hold the pose. Fluid means inhale up, moving with the breath instead of holding there in that static posture. Last one, if you're doing fluid movement, bring it back up. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to scoot forward just a little bit in the seat of the chair, keeping those feet and knees wide. We'll bring our ball back in, or our weight if you'd like, and we'll go ahead and bring it in between both hands in front of the heart. We're going to continue working on the strength of the legs. You always have the option, especially if you're working through an injury or you're just starting to build that strength in the legs, maybe do every other one, maybe do one and omit. So just do as many as you can, and then keep doing the arms if you need to stay seated on the chair. Toes are out with the angle of the legs. We'll go ahead and hold the ball here into the chest. Again, with the weight or without, your choice. We'll inhale, lift up. And then exhale, bring it on down. Feel free to find the full seat and then back up again. If you're doing every other one, lift up the arms, hands come down, and then we come back into that lift of the squat. If you're really wanting to go for it today, you can just do a tap of the sits bones on the seat of your chair. Inhale up, exhale down. Everybody finding the level that works best for them. Let's try 2 more. Coming on back down. Let's go ahead and drop the ball. Literally, not figuratively. Elbows come right above the knees. Come into a peaceful warrior. Fingertips align. Eye gaze gently past the fingertips. Try not to collapse into the shoulders and just breathe. Lovingly getting out of our own way in this posture, setting down any doubts, any fears, any guilt, anything. You fill in the blank. What gets in the way of you connecting with your practice, yourself? Slowly, we'll come back up, bringing that ball back in if you'd like. We'll go ahead and take a second set. So from here, we'll bring the ball in the right hand, inhale up. Elbows come down, exhale. Lift it up, inhale, pass the ball. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. That soft tuck of tailbone keeps that spine nice and tall. Half smile is upon the face, doing our Ujjayi breath on the back of the throat. See if we can do 2 more sets on each side. If you want to go a little further, feel free to. A little extra credit. And we'll go ahead and bring the ball down in the center of the heart once again. So we'll take a moment, prepare ourselves for our second set of our lifted squats. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and inhale, lift it on up, ball over the head. Exhale down. Remember your options. You can simply stay seated, working with the arms. You can do every other squat. You can come and take the full seat, or you can just tap the sits bones onto the chair and keep going. Everybody find your level. See if we can do about 5 more, especially if you've been finding a little achiness on the lower back, right near that SI joint on either side of the tailbone, up just a few inches. As we start to strengthen the glutes and back of the body, that'll help with that area and achiness. Bring it back down when you're ready. Coming back into our rest, release the ball. Peaceful warrior, take the knees or elbows right above the knees. Fingertips aligned, eye gaze gently past the fingertips. Try not to collapse into the shoulder joint. One more breath. Slowly coming back up. Beautiful job. So we'll go ahead and roll that ball underneath the chair so we don't trip on it. If you still have your block out to the side, we'll tuck that in as well. Find a little march here as our reset for our shoulders and hips, letting them realign. We'll bring it back in, finding our way up into our standing Tadasana. So when you're ready, with or without the use of your hands, let's go ahead and come on up. Take it on over to the side of the chair. We'll have the chair on the right-hand side and you're on the left. Take your feet nice and wide, hands to hips. We'll find our circles, hula hoop. Soften your knees where you need to. And make sure to go in the opposite direction with those circles. Come on back up. Let's go ahead and take that right foot up onto the seat of the chair. See if you can take that foot 90 degrees. Right hand comes on the inside of that knee. Stand up nice and tall. We'll take the eye gaze straight forward. Finding that nice stretch inside of the hip, our standing frog pose, half frog. Normally we would take this on our bellies on the earth. And so this is another variation, making it more accessible during our chair practice. One more breath here. And go ahead and softly release. Turn in at your 45 degrees. Let your hands come down to the corner of that chair seat. Try and find that flat back. Make sure you're nice and stable, and then see if you can sink down into that right glute, to that right sit bone a little bit. Neck is long. Breath coming all the way down into the tailbone and glute area. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and bring it back up when you're ready. Feel free to take a little more time here though, if you need. When you're ready to come up, use your hands for support on the leg and on the chair. All right, so we're going to try our new pose here. What I'd like you to do is turn back towards the chair, and we're going to take that right foot up onto it. If you can, we'll take the hands up overhead, and we'll see if we can dive the hands over onto the chair. See if you can dive it down. The chair's right here if you need to hold on to for stability. See if you can draw Uddiyana Bandha, that belly button, in towards the lower rib cage. That way we get a little more curl through the spine. So this pose is called saluting the moon. As we have that full moon coming tomorrow, grounding down some of that energy. Squeezing everything towards the center, hips squeeze in, finding a little more stability. And again, if you need to hold on to the back of that chair, hold on. You can also separate the hands on either side of the foot. That'll give you a little more stability. When you're ready, we'll lift it on up. Inhale, hands come over the head, or keep them into heart if that's a little bit more stable for you. And we'll bring that right foot on down. Good job. March it on out. Feeling a little activation in that left calf. And bring it back, hands alongside of the body. So we'll go ahead and with the eye gaze forward, or if you need to look at the feet, we'll start to take our slow, mindful, meditative walk, our grounding walk. Transition the weight from heels to toes, otherwise known as our yoga sobriety walk. If you get a little too loopy in yoga, this is your determination on whether or not you should drive until you ground it out. Few more breaths, few more steps here. Take your time. Once we make our way around to the other side of the chair, we'll go ahead and find our wide-footed stance. Toes are forward. Let's go ahead and find our hula hoops. Opposite direction. Beautiful. Bring it on back in. Maybe that little march reset. And chair is on our left-hand side. So we'll go ahead, step that left foot on up, take the toes out so we can find our half frog pose. Left hand comes to the inside of the knee, finding that opening here on those inner adductors. Remember, as we work through that gallbladder meridian on the outer side or back side of the leg, that little squeeze into that meridian helps to push through or clear out any blockages. Stand up tall. Last breath or two here. And softly release. So we'll go ahead and turn it at an angle now. 45 degrees. And we'll take the hands down to the seat. Find your flat back. Sink down into that left hip. See if you can squeeze the hip softly to center. That'll bring a little more opening into that left hip. Neck is long. Eye gaze underneath your nose. Three more breaths here, sinking down into that left sit bone. And gently, when you're ready, start to make your way back up. Use your hands for support. I'm going to take the foot off the chair, find that rotation so I'm not doing it on one leg. Make sure you're nice and stable, and then we'll go ahead and bring that opposite left foot up on the chair. So when you're ready, or is it the right foot? I believe it's the right foot. We were doing the front edge. There we go. So from here, hands will reach up, and if I'm incorrect, please feel free to do the correct leg. Hands come up. We'll go ahead and dive it over into our saluting the moon. And if that's a little too challenging balance-wise, go ahead and separate the hands around that foot. Hip softly squeeze to center. You're taking the chin into the chest, try and round towards the knee. Belly button draws in towards the lower ribs, finding a little more curl on the back. 2 last breaths here, grounding that energy. Inhale and exhale. And bring the palms back in front of the toes or in front of the heart. Lift it on up. Inhale. And hands come down. Exhale. Release the foot to the floor. So go ahead and bring your feet close together. Hold on to the chair if you need to. Hand or hands on the knees. And we'll go ahead and find a few little circles here through the knee joint. Come on back up, standing. Find a little march. And we'll make our way back. Little meditative walk around our area. Heels in front of toes. If you want to switch it up, go backwards. Toes behind heels. And finding a slow reverse direction. Maybe you want to do a cha-cha. 5 steps forward, 5 steps back. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead, come back in front of the chair, have a seat. Find those sits bones, that nice stable base, ground back down into your seat. And we'll go ahead. We'll bring in a little more fire to our practice, and then we'll start to bring it on down. So let's go ahead, take the hands up into cactus. And we're going to find our breath work. We're going to inhale to center, exhale to the right, inhale center, exhale right. So don't twist too much in this pose, just enough to where the breath can move through you. And really focus on the exhale, push the air out. And when you come back to center, that inhale will rebound and find the breath coming in. And let's begin. Inhale, exhale right. Find a pace that works for you. Five more. Inhale forward, hands come to knees. Hold the breath, exhale it out. One more breath in. Exhale it out. Beautiful. Open up the eyes. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit of buildup of heat within the body, burning off any tension, any heaviness within the body. Those are called tapas. Hands come up, inhale, elbows come down, exhale. So we'll inhale forward, exhale to the left this time. Let's begin. Inhale and begin. Five more. Inhale forward, hands come down. Exhale it out. Another big inhale. Another big exhale. Beautiful job. Open up those eyes. Hands come to knees. Let's find a few cat-cows. Come back to seated. And let's come into our final pose of pigeon. So from here, let's start to draw that right knee on up into the chest. Little squeeze here with the hands. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and take that right foot over to the left knee. Find a little space underneath that glute. Sit bone connecting with a chair. Frame that shin, one hand on the heel, one hand on the knee. Let's go ahead and find a few little circles here through the hip, finding a little more space to come into our pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is all about forgiveness. And so as we take a moment here in this posture, just seeing where we can breathe that emotion into our lives or breathe that activity. Draw the hands behind the knee, lift it on up towards you, little lean into that left glute and leg, and look over the right shoulder. Breathe. Try to keep the shoulders down from the neck. After one more breath here, we'll go ahead and bring it forward. Let that knee open and soften. Now let's come into our pigeon pose. So we'll go ahead and hold on to the shin, framing it, lift up tall with the heart. If you're able to, maybe reach the heart forward. Keep that flat back, shoulders down from ears. Now as you exhale, draw the right hip back a little bit. That'll lengthen the heart forward. Soften the gaze or close the eyes altogether. Keep the neck long. Inhale all the way down to the tailbone, into that right hip area. Exhale, sinking down into it. 2 final breaths here on that right side with pigeon. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll lift it back up nice and easy. Use the hands for support. One more little draw up of that right knee. Hands come back behind it. Squeeze, sit up tall and lean over to that left leg. Look over the right shoulder once again, deep in that stretch. 2 more breaths here. Shoulders down from the neck area. When you're ready to release, we'll go ahead and come forward. Straighten that leg in front of you a few times. Push into the heel, draw it back in. Getting a little movement into that knee joint. Let the leg extend in front of you, point and flex your toes. Circle that ankle around. And finish up with a little hug. Step the right foot to the mat. Let's go ahead and take our hands to our knees, wiggle it out. Let's find a little balance within the body by offering this to the left side. When you're ready, come back to center, left knee hugs on up, little squeeze, sit up tall and relax the shoulders. Now, after another breath, we'll go ahead and cross that left ankle over the right knee. Framing that shin, sit up tall. If you need to find a little more space underneath that left sit bone, move the glute out of the way. From here, we'll find our circles, just starting to get into that hip a little deeper. Working our way through those areas that are feeling a little blocked, feeling a little resistance in that area. Softly move into it. See if we can gently make our way in there. Come back to center. After your circles, we'll take the hands behind the left knee, interlace the fingers, draw it on up towards you. Leaning a little bit into that right leg, look over the left shoulder, find that twist. And with the twist, we can deepen that stretch a little more. Relax the shoulders down, keep the jaw soft. Take 4 more breaths here, twisted to the left. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and turn forward, let the knee open. Find a little bit of a depth in our pigeon pose, frame the shin, inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, reach it forward a little bit, draw that left hip back. Inhale and exhale. Find any variations of pigeon here. Feel free to extend the arms over the shin. Let those shoulders come down from the jaw and the neck. Find 4 to 5 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw the left hip back. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's bring it back up nice and easy. Hands come behind the knees. One last little hug. Squeeze it on up. Look over that left shoulder, finding a little more depth in that stretch as we twist. Keep the shoulders down from the neck area. 2 more breaths here. And softly release. We'll bring that left foot out in front of us, extend it out a few times here, push through the heel, draw the heel back in. After a few extensions of that leg, we'll go ahead and point and flex through the toes. Circle that ankle around a little bit. Opposite direction. Feet come down. Let's take a little wiggle of those knees, finding a little more balance within the body. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, bring it on back into the seat of our chair. If you need a little support, feel free to bring that block in, or you can just kind of lean back. Actually, let's stay upright and seated. So either you're holding your body upright or you have that block for a little support behind you. So with that nice tall straight spine, we'll start to drop the head down. Just let the weight of the head pull the chin towards the chest. Soft tuck of the tailbone, feeling that gentle engagement of the lower belly. And start to find your semicircles. Lift up, ear comes to the right. Exhale down. Inhale, ear comes up to the left. I've said this before in class, I prefer the semicircles, but some days the neck is feeling good where I can take the full round. And if that's the case for you, feel free to offer that when it's available within your practice. I prefer keeping, again, the semicircles forward, but there's just some days where you can use a full neck roll. Now, after rolling around to the neck, semicircles or full circles, let's take that right ear over towards the right shoulder. Tall through the spine, taking that left hand off of the lap and just letting the arm gently hang there in the shoulder joint. Relax the jaw. Feel that nice opening all the way from the ear, down the jaw, down the neck, into the shoulder, all the way to the fingertips. Two more breaths. Feel free to offer some variations here. Maybe you're pushing the palm to the side. Maybe you're taking the fingertips and bringing them back a few inches. Jaw relaxed. When you're ready to bring it back up, slowly engage the neck, lift the eye gaze. Left hand comes back to the lap. Look right and left with a soft jaw. Hands come back to knees. A cat cow or two. And bring it back to center. From here, let's drop the chin or left ear to left shoulder. Take a few breaths here, softening through the shoulder. Let that right hand come off of the lap. Let that arm just kind of hang in the joint. Relax the jaw. Feel that stretch all the way from the ear into the jaw, the neck, shoulder, all the way down to the fingertips. We have a few variations here. Maybe stretch the fingertips out to the side, push through the palm. Maybe stretch the fingertips out to the side and walk them back a few inches. Many variations. Find what you need. Final 2 breaths here on that right side of the neck. And bring it back up, inhale. Good. Hands come back to the knees. We'll look right and left with a soft jaw. Eye gaze comes forward. Hands interlace the fingers right underneath the chin. We'll go ahead and lift the eye gaze up along with the elbows. Inhale. Bring it on down. Exhale. Squeeze to center. Inhale up. Exhale down and in. It doesn't have to be a full engagement, but just find that nice opening and that nice closing here. Feeling that reset in the neck, the jaw, and the shoulders. Last one, inhale up. Exhale, bring it on back to neutral. So take a moment here. See if you can just close your eyes and feel your body. See if there's any other poses, stretches, movements, breath work that you want to bring in. And when you're ready, after that movement, go ahead and find your way to our final resting Shavasana. I mentioned before, sometimes I like to bring a little block underneath my feet. That way I feel a little bit more of a reclined position as I lean back into the chair, but please feel free to find what's comfortable for you. Another option, if you're comfortable getting up and down off of the floor, is laying on the floor and just letting your feet, back of your calves, rest on the seat of the chair. That's a lovely Shavasana if that's available to you. So wherever you're at, let's go ahead and find one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. Take a moment here to find your way back into that nasal breath, fine tuning the back of the throat and sinking into our Ujjayi breath. When we engage the back of the throat, we create a little valve where we have a little more control on how quickly or slowly we release or receive the breath. Soften the brow, soften the inner edges of the eyes. Drawing all pieces of you back. Anything that you may have offered or given away in the way of energy. Softly draw that energy back to you. Coming back into wholeness. Two more breaths. Hand on heart and belly. Feel free to keep the palms where they are or release coming into palms on the lap or wherever the arms feel most comfortable. Taking a few more moments here and finding gratitude at the end of our practice as well. And as we continue to breathe, thinking of a few things, more things that we're grateful for in our lives. Remembering when we practice the attitude of gratitude, we actually change the chemistry in the body. We create new pathways in the brain, new ways of thinking about things. Four more breaths of gratitude here, inhaling and exhaling so you can create a little more space for that next inhale of gratitude. Nothing too big or too small to be grateful for. Thank you, my beautiful yogis and yoginis, for joining me once again on the mat for chair yoga. I'm so very, very grateful for each one of you. Without you, we wouldn't have community. So, for each one of you out there, I'm so very grateful to continue to be doing what I love in this world. From my heart to yours. Happy Wednesday. Here's to a beautiful day ahead. Namaste. Mr. Dexter is sound asleep in the other room. So, from his heart to yours as well. Have a great Wednesday, you guys.